start with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade based on news flow as well as on technicals. On the technicals today, we have Sameet Chavan joining us on the show, and on the research end, we have Harsh as well as Ankita. Very good afternoon to all three of you all. Thank you so much for joining us on this leg of Market Fatafat. And let me go ahead with the first stock that is buzzing in trade, and that definitely has to be India Glycols, because that particular counter was soaring in trade. Last time I checked, India Glycols was trading higher by approximately 7% or so, giving up some of those gains, nevertheless holding on to strong gains approximately 4%. The stock has hit a highest level since January 2nd. The reason for this sort of an up move is because the company has sold an entire stake on Shakumbari Sugars and Allied Industries, and this for an amount of about 90.3 crore rupees. And remember, the stock in today's trading session has managed to snap a 5-day losing streak. So that's one of the reasons why you have India Glycols that's buzzing in trade, 4% uptick in a very strong market.
Moving on to the next counter in focus, and you can't take your eyes off from ITI Limited. That stock was up anywhere between 15 to 16 odd %, and that's after now 17.5% on your screen, and that's after ITI develops branded laptops and micro PC named Splash with international standards. And ITI, to remember, is a central PSU under the Ministry of Communications, where they say that the branded laptops named Smash, the products have already been deployed in the markets and are gaining more orders. The ITI Limited has won many tenders competing against MNC brands like Acer, HP, Dell as well as Lenovo, where two flagship products will be introduced. One is the micro PC and the other one is the Smash one. In both of these segments, the company has won the tenders, and these laptops are being designed in association with Intel, with which an MOU has been signed for design and manufacturing, and more than 12,000 Smash PCs have been deployed and are successfully performing at various customer sites. So that's the update on ITI, and that's why we are seeing this stock seeing no stopping.
All right, let's talk about a stock that is zooming away, or rather has been on the fast lane for a while now, and that definitely has to be Maruti Suzuki. Summit. At one point in time, all of us were waiting with bated breath that 10,000 mark coming in on Maruti Suzuki. It did scale the 10,000 rupees mark, but from here on now, where do you see Maruti Suzuki headed? Do you see more higher levels for this one?
Certainly looks like, after a long wait of nearly, 5 years, this stock finally managed to surpass this important milestone of 10,000. And since then, there has been no stopping. Yes, in between, we saw a brief pause for nearly 3-4 trading sessions last week. But again, the momentum has picked up. The stock has resumed its upward trajectory. And today, we are seeing a good breakout happening on the daily time frame chart, which can be termed as a bullish flag pattern. So overall, looking at the recent momentum, volume activity, this stock is poised for further move probably towards 10,800, 11,000 in coming days. So we like this counter at current level. Any minor dip would be a good buying opportunity. And as far as support levels are concerned, 10,200, 10,350 should now act as a very strong support.
Okay, that's the technical take on Maruti. But Harsh, coming to you, what's happening with SJVN? That particular counter is soaring in trade today.
Absolutely flying away in trade, 15% higher on the back of a new PPA signed by SJVN with Bhakra Bias Management Board, which it has signed for an 18 megawatt solar power project to be developed on the parcels of or allocated by the board itself, largely situated in Himachal Pradesh as well as Punjab. The contract is based on the e-reverse auction organized by the Punjab Energy Development Agency, and the tariff for that is 2.63 per unit. So largely, of course, positive. You have around 39.5 million units of energy in the first year itself. SJVN in focus on the back of that, up 15%.
All right, that's the reason why SJVN is soaring in trade today. But let's move on and let's talk about Piramal Enterprises then, Summit, because if you look at Piramal Enterprises and if you drag in a longer term chart, this particular stock has actually disappointed investors a tad bit. But the last 6 months have been really, really strong. 68% uptick coming in for Piramal Enterprises, and it's taken everyone by surprise. Why do you see this one headed from here on now?
See, certainly, if you see its recent performance from March lows, this stock has already moved more than 50-60%, and there has been no stopping. It's clearly on a roll. So after a brief pause of nearly 1.5 months, the stock prices managed to confirm its breakout from recent hurdles of 1100. Since morning, the stock has been buzzing with strong volume. So if you look at it from a slightly broader view, we expect this stock surpassing 1200 quite soon. But with a momentum perspective, 1180, 1200 clearly looks on card. So overall, the bias has to be positive, and any dip would be a good buying opportunity. Now, as far as supports are concerned, now previously, if you see, the stock has been maintaining its strong support zone around 1050. It has now shifted higher to 1075, 1080.
Okay, so till now we have just discussed about all the stocks that were in green, and that clearly tells you the breadth of the market. But let's shift focus to Shyam Metallics now. Not doing that great in today's trading session. And let me go across to Ankita now. And Ankita, tell us why the stock is down about 3.5%.
That's correct, Shrishti. Shyam Metallics is down 3.5% in trade today, and that is on the back of the operational updates for the month of August. That is really weighing down the stock. Now, if you look at the updates, according to that, the sponge iron sales volumes are down 5% on a year-on-year basis, and a marginal uptick coming in there on a month-on-month basis, which is on just a 0.3%. But the steel billet sales volume was down a good 37% on a year-on-year basis, and a 21% downtick coming in there on a month-on-month basis. Also, the long steel, including TMT, wire rods, structural volumes were down 19% on a year-on-year basis and 8.4% on a month-on-month basis. So, bad sales volume numbers is what is weighing down Shyam Metallics today in trade.
All right, moving on, Sameet, let's talk about CDSL. And, I was hosting the show Buy Now, Sell Now, and had a viewer who spoke about CDSL. And she was saying that the rally that the stock has posted over the last few months has been actually scary. Do you think it's a scary rally that we are seeing in CDSL? Do you think there's more scope of a sharp spike in this counter? Because as you can see on the screen, over the last 1 week or 1 month or so, the rally has only been furious.
So we expect further upside in this counter. In fact, over the past few months, this stock has been developing a strong pattern, which is an accumulation pattern called as a bullish cup and handle. So on Friday, we saw decisive breakout happening from major hurdles of 1250, and if you look at the volume activity, it has happened on sizable volume. So since morning, this stock has been buzzing, and we have labeled this as a stock of the week also. Although it has already reached our targets of nearly 8 to 9% in a day itself. 1395 was our target. But considering the overall price and volume activity, will not be surprised to see this stock even surpassing 1500 in coming days. So overall bias has to be positive, and those who have been holding since lower levels, they should certainly stay put in this counter.
All right, so that's the take coming in on CDSL. Let's talk about sugar stocks, because this one is definitely seeing extremely sweet gains in today's trading session. Most of the stocks are seeing a rally between about 3% to 13% or so. And why is this particular rally coming in all of these sugar counters? Is because government, or rather India, has announced launch of Global Biofuel Alliance at the G20 summit. And India advanced the deadline by 5 years for doubling nationwide ethanol blending in gasoline to about 20%. Remember, the ethanol is derived from sugarcane through fermentation, as is used as alternative to fossil fuels. On back of that, you have Praj Industries that actually hit a record high levels in today's trading session. Approximately 15% uptick is what Praj actually registered in today's trading session. You also have Sri Renuka, Dwarike Sugar, Balrampur Chini, Dalmia Bharat, you name it. All of them seeing extremely sweet gains in today's trading session. So keep an eye out on all of these names on back of the Global Biofuels Alliance, which was launched at G20 Summit. And given the fact that ethanol is primarily produced as a byproduct of sugar industry, used in plastics, polishes, medication, cosmetics, as well as alcohol beverages. So it's going to benefit a whole host of industry, isn't it?
Okay, that was about the sugar space, but let's focus to the steel now. And Sameet, you have picked up JSW Steel onto the charts. Now the stock is over that 820 mark as well. How do you see the stock moving ahead?
It has been gradually moving higher, but we'll be keeping a close eye on this pedal counter. 840 seems to be a major hurdle. The moment the stock manages to surpass 840 and sustains above that, it would confirm the long, multi-month breakout for this particular counter. So overall, metal has been buzzing since morning. So we would certainly keep a close eye once the stock confirms its breakout beyond 840. Then the next targets would be around 872 to 870 for this particular counter. As of now, we do not suggest any, trade setup in this counter. But once this stock surpasses 840, one should trade with a confirmation beyond 840 for a target of 872 and 878. And in that case, the stop loss level would be around 822.
Okay, that's the levels that you need to be watching out for on JSW Steel. But have a look at Zomato. The stock is now above that 100-odd mark. And today, Equerries has initiated coverage on this particular counter with a long rating and a target price of 135 rupees, where they say that the dominance in the under-penetrated food delivery space should drive a robust 31% sales on a year-on-year basis between FY23 to 28, and asset-light balance sheet and rupees 11,500 crores of cash balance to facilitate entry into the adjacents, like enabling further value creation. A case in point being the Blinkit acquisition and subsequent accelerated strides towards profitability. So Equerries is quite positive on Zomato, and a 35% gains from the current market price is what they are seeing on this particular counter, and the stock is holding up a gains of around 2% today.
All right, that's the matter for you. Surpassed the 100 rupees per share mark. But Sameet, coming to you, Canara Bank, PSU banks are on fire. PSU Bank index has hit a record high levels. And in that, do you think Canara Bank is well placed?
This stock has literally taken off since morning. If you see Canara Bank, it has been, quite since last one and a half months. It has already formed a good base around 320, 325 kind of zone. And today, the stock has already surged quite a lot. If you look at the volume activity, it has surged nearly twice of its average daily volume. So the outlook, yes, certainly looks positive. And as far as this stock prices are concerned, we expect the stock heading towards 372 to 375 in coming days. It is already trading at its 5 years highest level. So we expect this momentum to continue in coming days as well.
Okay, that's the take on Canara Bank. But IRB Infra, that stock is also holding up gains in today's trading session. Harsh, tell us what's the news flow in this?
Well, yes, so IRB Infra disclosed its August numbers, and August numbers continue to show that toll collections have grown at a very robust rate. 24% across their subsidiaries is what IRB Infra has reported clocking, and even within those, you can see that most of their subsidiaries have clocked a 20% growth in August of 2023 compared to August of 2022. Joint ventures too clocking a very healthy 28% growth, and toll collection on the Hyderabad ORR project commenced only on the 12th of August. So we had 11 days of no collections there as well. So expect that to start to kick through from September and add to that toll collection number from September onwards. But a healthy set of numbers from IRB Infra, stock up 3% on the back of that.
All right, moving on, Sameet, let's talk about Apollo Hospitals, a name amongst the top nifty gainers in today's trading session. Where do you see this one headed from here on? Do you think that this is a standout candidate when you compare it to the rest of the hospital pie? Because if you look at the last 6 months, compared to a lot of players, this one has only given an 18% return.
Yes, but we would expect, some sort of catch-up move from this particular counter. After a decent rally, stock prices, underwent some sort of price correction followed by a time-wise correction as well. So it has spent its, lot of time around 4800, 4900 and has formed a strong base around, its key moving averages. So in last 3-4 days, we are seeing some, momentum coming back into this particular counter. So overall, we expect this stock heading towards its recent swing highs, 5300, 5350. These are the next levels to watch out for. And volume activity has been quite robust. So we expect this price movement to continue in the northward direction. As far as supports are concerned, immediately if you see 4950 should act as a very strong support. And there's a major support around 4800, that is clearly visible on daily time frame chart.
Okay, that's the take on Apollo Hospitals. But Ankita, coming to you for CAMS, this particular counter is also up anywhere between 4 to 5%. Tell us, what are you picking up on CAMS?
Right, That's correct. Shrishti, CAMS is buzzing in trade. If you look at the stock, it is up almost 5% in trade today. And it is on the back, they had the Analyst Day meet. And of course, if you look at the key takeaways, CAMS is basically, firstly, it is a register and transfer agent, which is RTA for mutual funds, and it has a 69% market share currently. Now, they are expecting a 15% AUM growth and 12% revenue growth in the RTA business. They also feel that the investments in the new initiatives are complete, and they expect a 20% revenue growth and a revenue opportunity of 70 to 100 crores. Now, they have indicated at an EBITDA margin of 44 to 45% over the next few years, and the profitability they feel will remain intact despite the yield compression in the RTA business. Also, Motilal Oswal came out with a note today, and they are maintaining a buy on the counter with a target price of 2,850 rupees per share. Now, they feel that the CAMS is the leader, is a market leader, and it earns 90% of its revenues from the mutual fund business and 10% from the non-mutual fund businesses. And with the structural tailwind favoring the mutual fund and favorable macroeconomic environment for all the non-mutual fund businesses, they anticipate a robust business momentum in the foreseeable future. And also they feel that each of the new business has the potential to generate at least 100 crores, approximately 100 crores over the next 3 to 4 years. And on the back of this stock is buzzing in trade today.
There's CAMS for you, so surging in trade, 5% uptick. But let's talk about another one that's soaring in trade, and that definitely is JSW Energy, because that particular counter saw an uptick of as much as 7%. Right now, almost 9% coming in for JSW Energy. Economic Times has reported that the private investors are in talks to acquire minority stake in the company subsidiary, that is JSW Neo Energy, and on back of that, you have JSW Energy stock that's soaring for a 7th consecutive session, also hitting a lifetime high in today's trading session. So Economic Times has reported that TPG, Tokyo Electric Power Company, as well as Brookfield are in advanced talks to buy stake in JSW Neo Energy, and a deal may be signed with the two of these funds in coming weeks. JSW Group, remember, is looking to raise as much as $500 million via the stake sale, and on back of that particular news, you can see the stock that's soaring in trade right now, upwards of 9% coming in for JSW Energy at record high.
Okay, moving on, let's shift focus to Godrej Consumer then, and Sameet, this counter is also on your radar. The FMCG space for today is holding up itself in the green. But what specifically on Godrej Consumer are you spotting?
So this stock has been quiet for a while now, but since morning we are seeing good traction in this counter, and prices are showing some signs of revival, at least in the near term. So we would expect once the stock surpasses 1042, we would expect the stock heading towards its higher boundary of 1075, 1085. So within this consolidation, a broad range, we expect this stock to show some positivity at lower levels. So 1075, 1085, these are the next levels to watch out for. As a momentum trader, one can place a stop loss around 1018 and go long at current level.
Okay, moving on to two counters from the Adani Group, wherein the promoters have increased their stake. Firstly is Adani Ports, and the other one is Adani Enterprises. The promoters of Adani Ports have acquired an additional 2.17% stake, and with this, the promoters have raised their stake to 65.23% from 63.06%. And on the flip side, promoters of Adani Enterprise have also raised their stake in this one, buying an additional 2.06% stake, and now their stake stands at 71.93% versus 69.87%. So promoters increasing stake in both of these counters. Look at the move in Adani Ports inching higher and gaining around 7% in trade today, and Adani Enterprise on your screen is also up by over 2.5%.
Yes, at actually days high coming for Adani Ports and Adani Enterprises, and Adani Ports among the top gainers on the Nifty. With that, we slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. After the break, we will continue with the stocks.